Hey, it's Captain Roger. Let's go for a walk. Thank you, by the way, for walking with me as I walk with God and walk through the Bible this year. As we get to the book of Numbers, I probably need to share a little piece of my philosophy about reading the Bible. First, though, you may need to hear what I think the Bible is. I think it is a great book that tells the story of how God has interacted with humans and humans have interacted with God. I think it's a collection of history and poetry, stories and metaphors, administrative reports, hyperbole, and adventure tales. I think it was written by dozens, if not hundreds, of different authors. And it doesn't tell a single story, although there is a way to read it that suggests it may have a central theme that runs throughout. I also happen to believe it is all inspired by a God who wants to have a relationship with the people that he has created. But whether you believe that, or whether you think it's just a collection of literature, well, you probably agree that there's something in there. Everyone could get something out of it that could change their life for the better. You probably also agree that there are sections of the Bible that are really boring. You heard me right. There are people who sit down to read the Bible from cover to cover. They don't usually get very far. In fact, they usually get to about Genesis chapter 5. That is the first big section of begats. You know, the part where so-and-so begat so-and-so, who begat so-and-so, who begat so-and-so. Part that reads, when Seth had lived 105 years, he became the father of Enosh. And after he became the father of Enosh, Seth lived 807 years and had other sons and daughters, and then he died. When Enosh had lived 90 years, he became the father of Kenan. And after he became the father of Kenan, Enosh lived. You get the point. This is not riveting stuff. It's not. Unless you're a Bible geek like me. Now, if you do make it through Genesis and Exodus, which have a lot of fun stories, you get to Leviticus. Leviticus is mostly a collection of instructions about how to slaughter the proper animals at the right times to show that you're sorry for breaking the contract that your people had with God. And then comes Numbers. Numbers is an account of a census, including all the relevant counting. Even statisticians aren't really that excited by reading page after page of raw data. It's just not that interesting. So here's my philosophy of reading the Bible. Are you ready? Skip the boring stuff. And I'm not saying it's not important, although you might not have reason to look into it at some point. But if you're just not getting anything out of what you're reading, move on to a different section. God won't mind. Why do you think he inspired so many different people to write in so many different ways? It was so we could find what we needed to walk with him the best way that we can. So there it is. Some parts of the Bible are boring, and you should skip them and read other parts instead. Maybe someday I'll tell you my philosophy about how to read Bible names. Not today, though. Today I've got a walk to finish. Grace and peace to you. See you tomorrow.